So this is going to be another bad movie review. This is going to be on Hudson Hawk from 1991, starring Bruce Willis. It's directed by Michael Wyman. So this is a really messy movie. It has a really bad script, like awful dialogue and performances by a few people. Yeah. Let's get into it though. So it starts off with Da Vinci, and at first he's supposed to make a horse for a duke or something like that. He comes up with this contraption that will turn, I believe, lead into bronze, but instead it turns things into gold, and that's what the villains want it for. Using this little piece that's inside of these different art pieces that he created, including that horse. So, cut to present day, Bruce Willis, Hudson Hawk, he's getting out of prison after 10 years, but his parole officer wants him to do this heist of this, what's going to be an auction of that horse. And he doesn't want to do it at first, he turns it down, but then the Mario brothers threaten him, and so he ends up doing it. So, him and his buddy, uh, Tommy Five Tone, played by Danny Oello, they go there to do the heist, and they are singing out loud and doing a bunch of other things during this heist. I don't know how. Well, I do know how. It's because the security guards are idiots, that they don't get caught right away. So they almost get caught. They jump off the roof, but there's no stakes in this movie, so they're perfectly fine. And they give up the horse, and it has one of those artifacts in it. And there's this butler Alfred that has like this Assassin's Creed hidden blade that he kills his parole officer with. So the villains in this movie, uh, the Darwin and Minerva Mayflower, played by Richard E. Grant and Sandra Bernard, they want these different art pieces, and they're going to use Hudson Hawk to get them, since he's the famous cat burglar, so that they can use that contraption to make gold. Andy McDowell plays the love interest Anna, who is a secret agent nun for the Vatican. Anyway, um, there's also George Kaplan, played by James Coburn. Uh, he's um, he's the head of this CIA group that has candy bars, or candy for code names. I guess you just got to go with it. Anyway, they are working with the Mayflowers to get these different art pieces so that they can work with them to get this contraption or whatever. But I think they're planning on double crossing them though. So Hudson Hawk gets knocked out, and he wakes up in Rome, and they want him to steal a codex from the Vatican. And there's some hijinks that go along with that, but he ends up doing it. His friend Five Tone was believed to be dead because they were kind of threatening Hudson Hawk. They were going to hurt him, but he was part of it with them, but he changed his mind. So now he's with Hudson Hawk again. And so they believe that he was dead and that Hudson Hawk was in jail. So that's the reason why the CIA operatives, they ended up getting that last artifact from the Louvre, I believe. But then they're going to try to kill Hudson Hawk and Five Tone after that, but they get away. After that, there's this big action scene. The Mayflowers double cross the CIA agents and kill them, right? And then they're gonna use the contraption. They're gonna use it. There's a fight with a dog, and the other people that work with the Mayflowers and the butler, and then the Mayflowers end up getting turned into gold. Five Tone is believed to be dead, but like I said, there's no stakes in this movie, so he survives a car explosion because there are airbags and a sprinkler system in the car. Somehow, okay, whatever. That's the plot. That's the most I can give you. It's convoluted, and my head is hurting even just trying to remember it all, but that's the best I can do. So positives. Bruce Willis is good in this. Him and Danny Oello, they actually do have some chemistry. They do feel like friends, and they do have a couple of lines of dialogue that I thought was funny. Andy McDowell is not good in this, though. Neither is Richard E. Grant or Sandra Bernard, but we'll get back to that. I guess Bruce Willis is a decent singer. I never would have thought of that. This, I saw certain clips of this, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a musical the whole way through, but it's not. There's only two singing parts, and the whole explanation for that too. I'll get back to that, but the further explanation as to the songs and remembering the song durations and things like that. it's dumb, but you know the singing is decent. This movie's a mess. I mean, it's all over the place. One minute they're here, he gets knocked out. All of a sudden, he's in a in a limo with Richard E. Grant in Rome. I mean, all over the place. And the story, I just had to keep writing things down because I was like, okay, wait a minute. So he made the horse, and then okay, he has this contraption that spins lead, and go, okay, wait, they're gonna do world domination by being able to make gold. I mean, it's a lot. What I understood didn't make any damn sense, right? What I could understand, and what I didn't understand almost felt like it was not supposed to be, or like or there was parts of it that were missing or something. Because there's one of the secret agents. What's his name? I think it was Kit Kat, and he just follow. He doesn't speak. He has these cards where he gives them to people, and in certain moments, it's like, wait a minute, why did he already have that card to say this thing that he's only saying in this specific situation? He has this thing where he like mimics them, and he follows them around and mimics them, and I have no idea why he's doing that. It doesn't get explained at all. There's a part where he's a statue, and when the Mayflowers are like have Andy McDowell's character Anna tied up, and I was like, why is he a statue? Like it's like right before they double cross the CIA. It's like I didn't understand that at all. These jokes, like, it's rated R movie, and you would never think that from certain jokes in here. Most of the jokes in here, I think, are lowest of the low kind of jokes, like cheap. Like there was one joke with the security guards. One of them for whatever reason was, I guess, reading the phone book, and he's like, "Man, there are a lot of Wongs in here." And the other guy's like, "That's a lot of Wong numbers." And then you hear ding 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 ding. I was like, who's laughing at that? So you have jokes like that, or you have him getting Bruce Willis getting smacked in like a really goofy, silly way, and that's another thing. There's just goofy sound effects all over this movie, and but then you have a joke where one of the secret agents, Almond Joy. That's another thing. You know, being named after candy bars. Like no grown adult is laughing at that, but she makes this joke where their old code names were named after diseases, and so she went by chlamydia for a year. It's like, okay, yeah, that's an older joke, right? Or they're dropping f-bombs all over the place, especially Richard E. Grant. It's like any joke you could come up with, you just threw it in there. Like I cannot believe some of the lines in this.
What's going on in there?
You want me to rape him?
And man, the performances of the Mayflowers, Richard E. Grant and Sandra Bernard, they're having fun, right? They're like kind of silly villains, but man, it's really fucking bad. You know,
Money will always be paper, but gold will always be gold.
Brokers, economists, fellow entrepreneurs will drown in the saliva of their own nervous breakdowns.
Sounds like a party.
big boys don't cry, I. It's just, wow. Don't hate me, baby. It's like, geez. I mean, it's just so bad. I mean, clearly that's the way they're directed to be and written to be, but yeah, it's not good. It's only funny if you're laughing at it because of how terrible it is. There's this running joke about him getting coffee, which the first one, I think not the first one, I think it was the second one, when he's in the bar and one of the Mario brothers shoots his cup and it just like shatters in front of him and nobody reacts. Like nobody reacts to that. And then somebody gets hit in the head with a bottle and they barely even react to that. It's the weirdest thing. But that joke just, you know, is a running joke in the movie. It's never funny. And then when he finally gets his cup of coffee at the end, it's been a while since that joke has come up, so I had forgotten it was even there. It's like the jokes in this just don't work at all.
Come on, you bitch!
I'm not a very good damsel in a dress, am I?
You must pay the rent.
But I can't pay the rent!
Yo, Flipper.
So I really wanted to talk about this. The reason why they sing songs during these little heists is because, for whatever reason, and it's even mentioned in the movie, Bruce Willis doesn't have a watch. So 5-tone will say a song, and then Hudson Hawk will be like, oh, it's this amount of time, right? So if they have that amount of time during the heist, they'll sing that song for whatever reason out loud, which will tell them, when the song is over, obviously they're out of time. So I heard these durations were wrong. So I was like, okay, I don't have the time right now. I just finished the movie. I'll just pick one of these songs, and I'll see if the duration is correct. So I picked Hit the Road Jack.
Hit the road, Jack. Tell me, where are my needle nose pliers?
Check the bar.
Hit the road, Jack. 5 minutes, 15 seconds.
I looked it up. Hit the Road Jack is only 2 minutes long. I mean, way off. And yeah, even all of the versions, even the ones after this movie, they're all around like 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, like, it's one thing for it to be kind of off by like a minute or something, but for it to be way off and for it to be a running thing throughout this movie, that just encompasses the writing in this. It just doesn't work. This is a messy, convoluted piece of nonsense that has some of the worst jokes, some of the worst lines, these performances by these villains, absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, it just feels like a complete failure. I don't understand how you could look at the script. And Bruce Willis, I think, is one of the writers on this. I don't see how you can look at the script and think that this was going to work. It's all over the place. Really? A secret agent nun for the Vatican who gets secret messages from random crucifixes? I mean, random crosses with Jesus on it that just light up to give to, and that's how she communicates with her boss. I mean, secret agents with the names from candy bars that they always eat. The Mario Brothers, fucking the butler's, first of all, his name's Alfred, but he also has a hidden blade like he's Ezio Auditore. What is this? What is this movie?
There is a part of your body that you won't be needing for your next job.
I always did want to sing like Frankie Valli.
Big boys don't cry, I.
Utter trash. And the only reason why I'm not giving it lower than that is because I did have some enjoyment. Like, I was laughing, right? It feels like it's a little bit too long, especially towards the end, but I did laugh, and mostly ironically, but there were some things that I laughed at legitimately. And I do think Bruce Willis is good in this. So, yeah, I'll give it utter trash, and that's it. That's Hudson Hawk, and we're done.